My name is Teresa Lockwood. I reside in Vineland, New Jersey. And I wrote a post. It's not funny. It's just certain encounters that I've had over this post. And so I basically spoke against Vineland Police Lieutenant Landi, well, making up lies and slandering me. Um, and things, and I've been fighting with this person for months. And so they basically, well, they kept echoing my words, and they were sitting there trying to prop and set up and act like I'm speaking against myself, which I'm not, because I basically exposed them speaking against themselves. And they're trying to falsely accuse me what I exposed them for doing. So, which still is unrelated to me. Okay? So, the thing is, because I call them a liar, and they are basically echoing. That's all they're doing, is echoing my words and basically calling me a liar and slanderer. It's like, I do not lie about people, I do not slander people. The thing is that I sat there and told them, I'm just like, telling the truth of what you did is not slander. So, they know that. So, they continuously falsely accuse me of what they do. So, I'm actually going to record this. This is what I posted on my police page. And, I was just at the end of the conversation, told that I apologized. And they're like, oh, I'll accept that as an apology, after I basically enlightened them about God. They're actually an atheist, an anti-theist, atheist, I called them. And, so it was really strange, because they're like, so they spoke against me calling them an atheist, and they said, I never said I'm an atheist. I'm like, yes, you did. He's like, I said I don't believe in God. Well, first of all, basically the same thing, but that's not what he said. He said, you're right about one thing, I am an atheist. Now, the thing is, they're echoing my words, because I basically made statements saying, well, you're right about one thing. Now, yes, that can be commonly used in language, basically in responses to a lot of things by a number of people. But I basically particularly used it in regards to Hillary Clinton and Obama in the past. And the thing is, somebody's getting this Lieutenant Landi to echo and repeat words, and putting it. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna because I made a statement. I want to go on, but I wanted to sit there and say this. I made a statement in regards, because I said, well, Hillary Clinton was right about one thing, I sat there and said, where she said, the Republican or right, I'm going to say right, the right, or Trump's followers or whatever, their supporters, are a basket case of deplorables. No, he said half of the followers. I'm going to sit there and sum it up. Half of Trump supporters are a basket case of deplorables. And so I'm against Hillary Clinton all the way. I believe she belongs in prison. And I basically said, well, she's right about one thing. At least half, I said, at least half of the, how do I say this? Trump supporters are, a basket case of deplorables or whatever, and I have my mind on something else. It's hard for me to get this out. And reflected that the same thing on basically Obama. Of course, he said America's as stupid as like a whole or whatever. And I basically said that, well, at least he's right about one thing, which I spoke against Obama. I still do. But that was when he was caught and basically saying that Americans are stupid. Okay? So it's like, well, he's almost right about one thing. Most Americans are stupid. So the thing is that, okay, the thing is, my page is truth, I mean, yeah, I can make some errors. I have corrected my errors. And the thing is I'm going to record this. Now, Lieutenant Landi made up lies on everything, and I kept correcting him on just about everything. And a lot of it he did on purpose. And so the thing is that I'm gonna record it. He basically told me that hacking is not a crime. And we got into an argument. I'm like, yes, it is. I said, and especially sitting there altering and you know, changing my work and splicing my videos, which I reported. He refused to take a complaint. You know, and calling it like ridiculous. Well, he said ridiculous in other particular matter. I'm sorry. In regards to Vineland Police using third parties and businesses to harass me, refuse my rights, or whatever, make up lies about me, or whatever. I didn't go into all the detail of the list of it or whatever, but because he cut me off, by the way, refused to make me, refused to let me make a complaint. Okay, oh, that's ridiculous, and started like mocking me or whatever. So, the thing is that I spoke up against him, like lying about me and slandering me or whatever, and so he's falsely accusing me of lying and slander for speaking against what they did do to me. So I'm going to go on. So, all right. So he's like denying that, and the motive behind it doesn't really matter. He's basically mentally abusing me regardless. So, and he basically keeps saying that I need to apologize to them for the crimes they committed against me. And here I go again, and this is like the Vineland Church. Like, and now all they're doing is mirroring the Vineland Church cult who persecuted me. And they're just echoing things and basically falsely accusing me, and then sitting there saying it's slander or whatever, lying or whatever, for speaking against what they did. I actually went to even jail for the lies of a false witness, false minister Landi Atheist, who lied about me, and they all lied about me. And it seems like they're trying to cover up the manipulation played by William Clay, who committed perjury against me, by the way. Falsely accusing me of what they were doing to me. Now they're sitting there trying to make excuses and claim by principle or by detailed label or whatever. I never called them like heretics or whatever. I never even thought that way at the time. I mean, I was just in disagreement with their views, with their false views, and I gave my view. They are the ones who basically told people not to listen to me, isolated me, bullied me, and slandered me. And they're trying to sit there and play this whole your word against their word or whatever, and all these things. This is a thing. First of all, I don't bear false witness. I don't lie. Now, yes, a liar can say that. I'm not saying that. That does not credit me to not lying. I just don't lie. Okay? I believe in basically holding rights to even my enemies, even wicked people, where I do not believe that, no, nobody should, no matter what, everybody has a right not to have bear false witness against them. So the thing is, he keeps accusing me. They keep echoing my words and just echoing it back to me, like Officer Jason Scalzi would sit there, and they falsely accused me of defaming their character for speaking against what they were doing and reporting them defaming my character. Had me put in jail for their crimes. Okay. So I don't even want to do this. Anyway, I'm just going to jump to the last part. I wound up, because I wound up talking about, well, several things or whatever, but I got into talking about, relationship in regards to Well, I responded. I don't know if I'm going to go into details about everything, but I was basically, about churches yapping off between, like religion versus relationship, and I basically, I started talking about relationship between, like, even gang members and all sorts of views and things. I was just like, I don't need to be taught about relationship. I know well about it. I said, just because I am in conflict with you and that you would be like the police force or what have you in these churches. I'm sorry. I use you sometimes as like the view of the people of the subject matter I'm expressing. I don't know where I got that from or do that, or why I do that, but I do. So the thing is that I spoke about a relation. Oh, because I questioned if he like lied to his girlfriend, which I basically said, well, if you're like, we're not gonna say it together and just sit there essentially intimately or whatever. We'll say it like that. I said, that's your wife. So I wound up calling her his wife. He sit there and said, sorry, are you engaged? Told you it was none of my business. I said, it's none of my business if you're engaged or not. I don't know why you wouldn't tell people that. That's ridiculous. So I was like, it's serious. Obviously, she went to your promotion. So, but yeah, I have actually attacked him. Well, he lied to me and basically pretended that basically somebody else was his family. Just to sit there. I don't know. There could be like many reasons or whatever, but he kept lying to me and basically giving this false information. And no, I do not do that. I will not lie. And I've actually told, I was just like, I'm not even gonna. I said, I don't even lie. He's sitting there falsely accused me of slandering him. Like, I don't lie against my enemies. I said, like, no, this is completely against my beliefs. I will not slander you and lie about you. I said, that's the problem. That was in another conversation a previous conversation to last, but this is like, I'm not going to do that to my enemies. I don't lie about my enemies. I believe everybody has that right. That's my Christian belief. I said, I have made mistakes. I have apologized for it. And like I said, at the end of the conversation, he's like, oh, accept that as an apology now. It's really strange. It was like, because he was echoing my words. And so he's basically does this thing to pull. Like, if I talk about things, he'll sit there and stop it and like get me to respond and pull on me responding and talking about things. So, I mean, I talked about relation and how I encountered when I was talking about, like, if he lies to his wife. Oh, yeah, I lied to my wife. And so I basically got into a conversation about police. So it's like, I've had a lot of thoughts about police and relation, and because there's a high rate crime of domestic violence among police. And yes, it can be very, I don't think I mentioned this in the conversation. I said that it can be very detrimental to relations among their family, their wives, girlfriends, whatever, their family, that basically goes on in the police department. It does affect the rest of them. It does. So I did say, I think the latter part where, I don't know, I'm not sure, but okay. So anyway, the thing is that so I got in comparisons, like I always do, using comparisons, and and I talked about, like, police, like, some police may think that they have to lie to their wives or whatever, and not burden their families or not do all these things or whatever. I said it destroys relationships. It's not good. And of course, I basically quoted a passage of the Bible. I was just like, when you're in a relationship, and your wife is like, it's like, you are not your own, but you belong to your wife, just like your wife belongs to you. I said, I was like, and you're to become one. I was like, when you lie in a relationship, and you, I don't know the exact words I used, but if you basically conceal, I didn't use these words, but the same principle. But if you, how do I say this? you are to like know each other, like you're holding something a part of you from your wife. There's going to be like a separation between, and you're going to lie to them is an act of hate. I was just like, and I, going on about in relation to police and their wives, I was just like, there may be some things where they're restricted from basically telling their wives or what have you. I said, but lying to your partner, your significant other, he's supposed to be one with. I didn't sit there and say, I don't think I said, I gave the view of being one with your wife or whatever, and a husband, instead of for female officers or whatever. I was just like, you're destroying the relationship. But the thing is, I said, but there's instances where I understand you have to be sensitive, and there's some things that you cannot understand, would not be able to say or what have you. I said, and I use my children as comparison, and there's like a sensitivity, and I was like, there's a sensitivity. I was like, when my children are young or whatever, I did not conceal everything to give to my children. I answered their questions honestly, did not deceive them or lie to them, but I restricted from saying a lot of things that it might be harmful to me saying something to them at their age. And I don't think I said this in the conversation, but Russian conversation, like I do on videos, I jump. I don't always say the full context of actually what I want to say about that subject matter, but the thing is, it's like, I know a lot about relationship, believe it or not. I said I may not be allowed to be in any sort of relationship, friendship, husband, and all these things or what have you. And I was just like, and I have been oppressed and all these other things or whatever, but I'm summing it up. But I said, believe it or not, I know a lot about relationship. No, I don't need to be taught about relationship. This was not said in the statement, but I'm going to sit there and say it like this. Just because you go on yapping relationship does not mean you're talking about or understanding or in relationship. Okay? So I got into discussion about fatal attraction and, obsession, and also mentioning basically there's a lot of police that I've seen that, they use their uniform, and there's a lot of people in society that they're marrying the uniform, and it may not always be like a bad intention or whatever and things like that, but society is like, oh, that's a uniform, that's a good person, that's this or that or whatever, and a lot of society is brainwashed to be stimulated or respond to worshiping titles, uniforms, and all these other things. A large majority of society are. So the thing is, instead of the person, there's a lot of people mirroring the uniform and not the person. So the thing is that it's just like, these things are a bad thing, and I use reference to Jason Scalzi or whatever. He actually used, I didn't say this all in the conversation, like I said, it was like jumping, pushing for time or whatever, pushing in time. But yeah, I basically saw a lot of him using his title and position and display of uniform to have relation, like to his wife, lying to his wife, keeping his wife ignorant, to basically make himself something great to his own wife. And the thing is, he did that and reflected that to other people that were around him, and using like power and and titles and all these things and boasting these things to have relation with people, and it's not a real relationship. So and I also brought in the fact that I was just like, and there's a relation even in conflict and in enemies. I said, did you notice that the people who are at greatest wars with each other, even like in gangs and things like that, they're like very close connected to each other. Okay? So I was like, we're in conflict. I'm in conflict with police. I said, there's people who are in conflict with police or whatever, like Blue Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, but there's relation. They're like so close to each other. But they're so far away, but there's a connection. Like, there's many different forms of relationship, and that is happening, and people being connected to each other. I said, but there's a separation, and, I brought up, reflecting back on the meme memo I made, in regards to, Blue Lives Matter, BLM versus BLM. I made it the same, BLM, BLM. Blue Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. They are the same. They want the same. They just desire the same thing. And there's so much likenesses in them. I said everybody, a lot of people are going to have same likenesses and relations and things they understand. I said, but there's a lot of conflict. I'm going to go on. So I have to move on because the thing is, I want to get to the point. Somehow I went into him and reflecting him being an atheist or whatever. And there's a thing, like I basically was persecuted because I am Christian, using false ministers by atheists in the Vineland Police Department, persecuted and destroyed my family. Don't know what I teach. Attacked me, just like a Muslim. Doesn't matter if they're Christian or not. They claim to be Christian. They're sitting there and going to attack them. So I didn't say that in the conversation, but I'm kind of reflecting on thoughts. There's not all my thoughts. I didn't even say. I said a lot and spoke a lot, but I could not speak all my thoughts, and that's in relation to it. I even said that. But the thing is that I'm going to go on. So I wound up talking about God and atheism, and I'm just, reality is, yes, even an atheist can pray without them even know it, just because they don't call it prayer or whatever. But I reflected the reality of the things of God, okay? And I'm just like, look, no matter if you're an atheist or whoever, people, if you claim, there's some people who claim to be, I'm not saying all do this, people do not seek something beyond themselves. There are people out there that don't do that. I said, but there are atheists that sit there, you can't deny that there are atheists that sit there and seek a wisdom and understanding that is beyond themselves. And I've said this to atheists, and I've used this as a enlightening to have them examine things and question things. And I said, we are bound by our own knowledgeability. Like our knowledge is limited. I said, but reality is, no matter what title you have, whether you deny there's a God or not, there are people that basically look beyond themselves, that they cannot find the answers in people. They cannot find the answers in books and all these things. I said, but you seek out beyond yourself that you do not obtain on your own and limit to, and do not have that knowledge, but you seek out, and yet you obtain it. I said, that is prayer. That is your spirit praying. I said, and the reality is that wisdom, knowledge, understanding comes from something beyond yourself, because that is seeking wisdom, knowledge, understanding. I said, God is wisdom, knowledge, understanding. I don't care if you use the term God or not. I said, the term God is ambiguous. Like the conversation before, and I basically said, we're all gods. I'm a god, you're a god. I said, God could be anything to a person who gives that person power or whatever. I said, but we seek beyond that of ourselves, even as a whole. I said, and even as a whole of people, all our knowledge together, we cannot even create the intricate design that basically is expressed in all of creation. You sit there and want to deny creation, even in the laws in creation. Reflect and recreate within itself, because it's in the design of creation. I said, and when somebody creates a new child, they create a unique individual. Okay? It is a new creation. I say, so all these things are reflected in the things, I'm going to say in nature, I don't think I use the word nature, but in creation, the same thing, in creation, and you can't deny that. The reality is, yes, an atheist can pray. Yes, you sit there and you're going to seek the things of God, whether they call it God or not. I said, no, it does not mean you rejected God just because you rejected the false ideal about God of these people. If you desire what is right, just, and true, and you look beyond, something beyond yourself, I said, you are desiring the things of God. It is meaningless to say God. When everybody sits there and calls whatever they want or desire from the evils of their own heart. Oh, I didn't say it exactly like that. Give or take a word. This is pieces throughout different conversations. But, I said, you're going to desire the things of God. In other conversations, so I'm talking, okay, I'm going to do another video on that. So the thing is, it just came out, and I'm just like, and he basically asked me also, he says, do you ever have a good day? And that was before I started talking about God or whatever. He asked me that. I go sit there and say that. And I'm just like, I told him after that, and said, answer your question, if I have a good day. I was just like, I just had a good moment. That was very fulfilling. It actually just made me feel really whole. I said, but a good day, I was like, what is that exactly? I mean, I've used, have a good day or whatever, but I made a joke out of it at the end, and I'm just like, oh, should I say have a good day? I said, I'm not going to say that. I was just like, be blessed. So he said, thank you. So, but the thing is, reality is, it's just like, look, even law enforcement encounter or whatever, what a good day. No matter where I go, I'm going to encounter what is evil and what is good. And a good day. Every day is good, I guess. And God made every day good, no matter what people call it. No matter what people try to name it from whatever society or belief or whatever, whether you want to sit there and call, whatever. I didn't say that in the conversation, but I'm just, okay, I'm not going to go linger on with my thoughts more on that. I'm just going to stick to the conversation. So the thing is, it's just like, good day. I was just like, good and evil is in every day. And sit there and have good, and sit there and have law. It's like, and I think that was near the end of the cutoff of the conversation. He had to go, and, it's just like, good day. It's like, there's good and bad in every day. I don't, and regarding that, he reflected that all these people I have a problem with or whatever, and it's just like, what is having a good day? I'm being persecuted, speaking against evil. This is they're a law enforcement. Like, really? You're a law enforcement. The law, and that's where he cut me off, but I was going to say that the law is to be, should I say, what is against evil. There's a battle of good and evil every day. So, the thing is, I reflected a lot of things in conflict, and my persecutors persecuting me. And, let's sit there and say another thing. I'm going to end with that. It's 27 minutes, so I'm going to end with this. He's sitting there, and he keeps calling me a liar. Why he's lying, and I'm calling him a liar. And I'm like, you're just like church people, sitting there speak against your lies, sitting there call your victims lies, give or take a word, or whatever. I don't lie. I just don't lie. So the thing is, it's like, how do you think I obtained so much wisdom about so many things? I said, because I'm a lover of truth, because I value truth. So yeah, there's liars who basically attain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Yes, that is of God. It is true. But the thing is, he knows what he said, and in regards to that, he lied to me in every conversation, and he did it deliberately. But the thing is that after I was done speaking about the things of God, and so I was just like, yeah, and all those things I spoke was against all the churches and all the false beliefs, or whatever. It's like, and desire, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Is there, call God, call not God. Is irrelevant. So, the thing is, these churches, they basically call whatever they want to desire their own evil power God or Jesus. And like I said, like even the previous conversation, I said, you know what, between atheists and churchians who claim Jesus, who are basically atheists and don't believe in Jesus, I said, you do the same thing. You believe that basically not all, a lot of atheists actually claim to be atheists. What I told him, a lot of atheists claim to be atheists because somehow they think claiming to be atheists justifies whatever they want to do, and basically in their own evils and things like that. I'm not saying an atheist cannot be moral and desire morality. That's not true. That's basically just the opposite what I just expressed. Okay, and I've been telling him, I've been telling and debating with atheists all these years. They're really kind of shocked when I basically come in and they're just like, Because, well, it's against all the churches. Why? Because churches are against Christ and his purpose. So, and I've also used the passage, you know, that I use with a lot of atheists, you know, and it's just like, they plead the cause of the poor and needy. Is this the not knowing me, says the Lord? And knowing God is by practice of desiring what is just, true, and right, not claiming God. So, after I got done explaining, that was a previous conversation, about 3 conversations back ago, but after I got done talking about the things of God, and basically, yes, the atheist, who desire something with outside themselves of a knowledge that they do not obtain by themselves at the time when they desire and seek out outside of themselves. I said, yes. I said, like, that is prayer and that is of God. And so when I, you know, was, you know, I guess filled in expressing these things of God to an atheist, he says, I'll take that as an apology. Are you serious? I'm not apologizing for crimes I did not commit. So, but he said that was very strange because he's flipping things backwards. So the thing is that his apology? I don't know. So, yeah, I might do other videos on a relationship so I can express myself in more detail. I did go into detail with many other things and with that. So the thing is, I'm going to end with that because it's going to end is over 31 minutes.